Tonight on The Blitz, we're coming at you with all things football. In the NFL, things are heating up in Houston going into Week 14. And in college football was championship weekend. Did the committee make the right call on the 4 teams in the college football playoff? Those topics and more coming up. Let's go. Welcome into the show. I'm Jamie Magone, joined by Steven Wasserman. And Steve, big weekend of football.
Yeah, you're not kidding. NFL season, college football season winding down, and all teams right now, Jamie, are looking ahead to the postseason.
That's right. Let's jump to some NFL highlights. The Eagles faced the Redskins on Monday night as the Eagles attempted to get back to 500, and the Redskins look to stay in the 6th and final slot in the NFC playoff picture. Let's see how things went down. And we will head to Philly as early in the first quarter, Carson Wentz making things happen with his feet. Little play action there. Watch him scramble around. Make the throw on the run to Golden Tate as they connect. Tate had a nice game, over 100 yards. Eagles went up 7-0, and watch this celebration from Tate. Nice little worm there, smooth as silk. Now, Mark Sanchez had to end the game for Colt McCoy because McCoy got hurt. First snap for Sanchez, hands it off to Adrian Peterson. There he goes, running the ball like it's 2012. 90 yards. Longest run of his career, longest run in Redskins history. Redskins go up 10-7. Now we'll jump to the fourth quarter. Eagles up by 1, and it's Wentz connecting with Jordan Matthews on the slant for the touchdown. They went for 2 and got it. Eagles went up 22-13, and I mentioned Mark Sanchez in the game for the Redskins. Yeah, that didn't really work out. He is picked off. Eagles get the win 28-13. They are 1 game back of the Cowboys, who they will play this weekend in Dallas.
Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots in a cross-conference matchup. Patriots with the ball first, certainly making the most of it. Tom Brady finding the former Vikings receiver Cordero Patterson scoots out of bounds after a 35-yard gain a few plays later. How about the fullback, Pat Devlin, one of his seldom used back, gets into the end zone for the opening touchdown. The next drive for the Pats, Tom Brady with the first down, also eclipses 1,000 yards for his career on the ground. Vikings, though, with a response. Just before halftime, they're going to get on the board as it's Adam Thielen in the back corner, all reliable and probably an all-pro receiver the way his season has gone. At this point, 10-10 ball game in the third quarter. Right at the end of the third quarter, Josh Gordon finds the end zone from Tom Brady. Patriots go on to win 24-10 as they take it over the Minnesota Vikings. And Jamie, speaking of the Vikings, we saw the Vikings just now, the Eagles a little bit before that. At this point last season, they were the top 2 teams in the NFC. Now a combined record just over 500. You know, what's going on with both the Vikings and the Eagles right now?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's funny because both teams probably thought they'd be taking a step up. Eagles getting Carson Wentz back, and the Vikings paying all that money for Kirk Cousins. They both thought they would be better teams. But let's go to some more action in the NFL as the Steelers were hosting the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Steelers dominated this game early. They're up 23-7, but here we go. Phillip Rivers should have been picked, deflects off 2 colliding Steelers, caught by Keenan Allen in the end zone for the touchdown. They went for 2 and got it, started their comeback. Steelers had to punt on their next possession. They punt to the wrong guy, Desmond King. Look at him finding the holes. There he goes into open space, 73 yards for the touchdown. They would tie the game at 23 after they went for 2 and were successful once again. Now fourth quarter, Chargers trying to get into field goal range. Connects Rivers to Allen. Here we go, field goal time. This one is up and no good. But wait, offsides by Pittsburgh. Tough break, here we go. But this one's blocked. And here we go, nope. Offsides again, unbelievable. Third time's the charm, here we go. This one through the uprights. Chargers win 33-30. Steelers only a half-game lead over Baltimore in the NFC North. AFC.
In the AFC, has there been, and just even the NFL in general, has there been any team hotter than the Houston Texans? You're going to be hard-pressed to get a different opinion than me. Houston started the season 0-3. Since then, they've won 8 games in a row, looking for their 9th straight win, but they're taking on the upstart Cleveland Browns. We know Baker Mayfield's at the helm. This game was in Houston, however. First quarter, Texans already leading. And why they've had so much success this season? Big reason is this combo right here. Deshaun Watson to DeAndre Hopkins. Sans the helmet. Forget the helmet. I'm still going to catch this ball. Give my team a much-needed first down. A few plays later, Watson at it again, finding his receiver Jordan Thomas for the 11-yard score. To the first quarter play, Texans up 10-0. We saw the offense. How about a little defense? Zach Cunningham with the interception, and nobody's going to stop him. Not the Cleveland Browns, not the Houston Texans. Nobody's going to stop this guy. Takes it in for the pick six. We see on the replay, despite the late hit from Mayfield, just sneaks the ball inside the pylon, and the Texans roll to a 29-13 victory over the Browns. So make it 9 straight wins for the red-hot Houston Texans. Speaking of the Texans, let's bring in our always reliable, always formidable NFL analyst, Trevor Thompson.
Thank you for having me.
So, Trevor, the Texans, they're the hottest team in the NFL, bar none. 9 straight wins. Are they legitimate?
When you win 9 straight games in the NFL, you have to at least be considered as legitimate. This is a hard league to win every given Sunday, and you win 9 in a row. We saw it last year with Philly. They got hot and went on to win the championship. So just based on that, you have to at least think that they're a legit team in this league.
All right, so you established they're legit. Now, there's some old favorites up there at the top of the AFC, Patriots and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Could the Texans somehow bypass one of those teams and get a bye?
More of it comes down to what the Chiefs and the Patriots do. Now, they're a really good team. Those are 2 really good teams. They have 2 very good offenses. The Texans are a little behind offensively than those 2 teams. So the only way they keep going is they just keep winning, but they also going to need some help from the other teams. Now, Houston, why they've been so successful is their turnovers. 0-3, the -4 turnover margin, and then 9-0, it's +11 now. So they've been doing a good job on the defensive side, getting to the quarterback, causing havoc. You got 2 good rushers in Clowney and J.J. Watt, who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. And also they're doing what I like to call the 2 singles very well. They're doing single back very well, and they do single high safety very well, and they're just clicking at the right cylinders right now.
Yeah, you mentioned that defense averaging 15.9 points per game allowed in the last 8 games. I mean, and if they're going against those high-powered offenses, can their defense make up for those deficiencies they might have on offense?
Well, in the past, the way you beat offenses is in the trenches. And they have that. They have that. The 2 guys I mentioned, Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt, they get to the quarterback, especially with Tom Brady. He's not very mobile. You get to him. Now, Mahomes is a different type of person. It's going to be a little bit tougher. Right. You might got to put some contains on him, get a spy going on him. He's a tougher guy to bring down. He's a bigger guy. He's more mobile, and he has a strong arm as well. So that's the way you get there. And, they have that single high safety, and they're doing a good job playing man on the back end. And when they play zone, that's how they get to the quarterback and wreak havoc.
And with all due respect to the Patriots and some of the other teams, it's been a league where we've seen Tom Brady dominate. We've seen Peyton Manning dominate for the last decade and a half, and even Drew Brees in the NFC when he went there. So it's nice to see that the league is now in the hands of 2 young quarterbacks, two of the youngest quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Trevor, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, it was championship weekend in college football. We've got you covered with all the highlights. Plus, don't miss our No Huddle segment to get you ready for Sunday.
The Blitz is brought to you by Goodyear, more driven. Visit Goodyear.com for all your driving needs this winter. Welcome back to the Blitz, everyone. Time to get into some college football, and there's no conference stronger this year. And just as always, as the SEC and Alabama, Georgia fighting for the SEC crown. Alabama's just been one of the toughest teams for years and years and years under Nick Saban. And folks, no difference this year. Jalen Hurts was the quarterback last year. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback this year, a Heisman hopeful. Hear about that in just a few minutes. But the upstart Georgia Bulldogs looking to pull off the upset in the SEC championship game. Let's head off to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Jamie. First quarter, no score.
Yeah, let's see. Jake Fromm finding Isaac Nauta for the Georgia TD. Has to fight few through tacklers, gets in. Georgia opens the scoring here against Alabama.
And Georgia with a strong first half, but here comes the Crimson Tide.
Let's go. Tua, the Heisman candidate, hitting Jalen Waddle. Makes the catch. Look at him turn on the Jets. Has to get away from the safety, and he does. Down the sideline, gets in the TD. Alabama starting to mount a comeback.
A little later on, though, Jamie, Alabama, they run into some trouble.
Yeah, you see an awkward fall here for Tua. He would have to leave the game. In comes Jalen Hurts, who finds Jerry Jeudy after scrambling out to the right. And there's the connection. Alabama making a one-possession game.
Jalen Hurts can do it in the air. He can also do it on the ground with about a minute to go.
Yeah, I figured I'll just take this one myself. Runs into the end zone. Alabama takes the lead 35-28.
A lead that they would not relinquish as they go on and win the SEC championship.
All right, Big 12 title game. We will head out to Texas, where Oklahoma plays Texas in Jerry's World. We will start in the third quarter, Texas trailing 27-14.
Sam Ehlinger, the young quarterback, taking his time, but eventually he's going to find Colin Johnson in the end zone, and Texas is within 6.
Check out this replay.
Woo! Gotten that 1 foot down.
All right, later in the third, Texas only down 6.
Ehlinger this time, not big Jordan Humphrey, lil Jordan Humphrey, still counts all the same, and we're tied at 27.
Got to get that extra point, though.
That's not going to go. That one was blocked. And obviously Coach Herman not too happy on that one.
All right, Oklahoma doing it defensively too.
Oklahoma on the defensive end, like you said, Kyler Murray's fired up because Trey Brown forces a safety.
Now Murray trying to seal the game.
Kyler Murray, the touchdown pass to Grant Calcaterra, his second touchdown reception of the game, and of course, Mr. and Mrs. Murray loving that as well.
Oklahoma wins the Big 12 title game. They play Alabama in the college football playoff.
Moving on to the ACC, where the Clemson Tigers have owned the conference for the last 5 to 6 years, if not more than that. Clemson taking on the Pitt Panthers in this one. And Jamie, it did not take Clemson long to get started in this one.
No, check this out. Travis Etienne weaving through defenders. He will go 75 yards. Those guys, Pitt defenders, no shot to catch up. Look at him stumbling. Clemson starting out very strong in this one.
That was the first play from scrimmage too, and we saw the offense. How about a little bit longer? And that's actually going to be Trevor Lawrence to T. Higgins on that play.
Yeah, it's a nice hookup there.
Yet again, T. Higgins on the second. That one in the back of the end zone, and Clemson, Jamie, absolutely rolls 42-10 as they are the ACC champions. Staying on college football, let's get into a little bit of talk about the Heisman Trophy. And for that, we bring in our analyst, Chris Cayozo.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Always.
All right, so we saw Tua went down with the injury. Jalen Hurts, maybe you have a chance to start. Say Tua is still kind of banged up come that playoff game on December 29th. How confident would you be in a hurt Tua? What percent would he have to be at to play him over Jalen Hurts?
I wouldn't take a 50-50 Tua. So if he's saying 50%, I'm still feeling a little banged up from the game or the surgery that he had, actually. I would start Hurts. But if he's feeling confident, he's going to tell Saban how he feels. He wants to win the national championship. Last year, he wasn't even supposed to play in the national championship, so he doesn't care. He wants to win. But I would take a healthy Hurts over a banged up Tua.
Honestly, this is just about fate, but let me ask you a simple question, but it's also a difficult question. Who is your Heisman favorite? Do you think it might be Tua? Do you like Kyler Murray? Do you like Dwayne Haskins? Who's your pick right now?
I like Kyler Murray from Oklahoma. I think if you take Kyler Murray of Oklahoma, I think they're not even a 4 to 5 win team. I think if you take Haskins and Tua off their respective teams, I think they still could win a good amount of games and make maybe a college playoff. But Kyler Murray is a beast. Running the ball, throwing the ball. He has good field vision. I think he does everything well. He is drafted into the MLB, which is shocking. Not shocking because I think that for both sports he'll do really well. But I think he's going to go to the NFL over the MLB.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have to find that out. We're also going to have to find out what we have when we come back. It's a bit of football discussion, plus don't miss No Huddle a little bit later on. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show as we're about to bring you the Corner Blitz and talk some college football. Each year, the college football playoff has brought about debate amongst fans as to who got in and who was left out, with this season being no different. And as we intro our analyst, Aaron Gaberman. Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, so before we get into some questions, let's just go over the college football playoff real quick. Number 1, Alabama. 2, Clemson. 3, Notre Dame. And 4, Oklahoma. So, plain and simple, did the committee get it right?
I think they did, Jamie. You saw that Alabama won the SEC They dominated that conference. I think that's why they used to be propelled back to the college football playoff for like the second time in a row.
Right.
So they were back there. Notre Dame had an undefeated season. They might have had the competition might have been a little light, but they got in easily. Clemson won the ACC. They dominated easily. They swept through that. They had the right to claim the number 2 spot. Absolutely. Oklahoma won the Big 12 championship. Now there could be debate between Ohio State and Oklahoma, but the problem is that Ohio State lost to Purdue, 29-point blowout.
Yeah.
Did not really help them in their chances getting into that playoff. Also, they played a very good Northwestern team, but it wasn't up to the same competition that Kyler Murray and that offense had against a tougher Texas team, in my opinion, than Northwestern. And then Georgia needed to win their game. If they didn't win, they weren't going to get in if they won or lost because of Alabama and Oklahoma would need to lose, I think, in order for Georgia to even slip in there. So that's why I think the committee got it right.
All right, yeah. So now we have Alabama, that top seed. They've been in the college football playoff every year since it came about. They've won it twice. Can any of these 3 other teams take them down?
Well, I really actually do like this Notre Dame team. Ian Book and that offense has been riding high for the past. They went undefeated. I mean, they had a great season. And their defense has been holding their opponents to very few points. But you can't doubt Alabama. Alabama is just so strong. And when we look at the highlight here, you see Tua passing it to their wide receiver. He goes for 85 yards for a touchdown. I mean, you just see how well he works as a quarterback. He's a top Heisman candidate going forward. And then, it doesn't matter. You could have Tua or Jalen Hurts. They're such a tag team duo in that offense. And now you see Jalen Hurts now in quarterback. You can just see him passing it there. He maneuvers out of the pocket, passes it to his wide receiver, bangs it in for the touchdown. And they were down in that game by 2 touchdowns. So you can see how well of a strong defensive team they can be going forward.
Yeah, we have a team, like UCF. They got some more chatter last year than this year, but undefeated 2 years in a row, still didn't get a crack at the college football playoff. Do you feel for a team like that, or do you think there's still more they could try to do?
Yeah, absolutely. You always feel bad for a team that has been undefeated the past 2 years. But you got to look at the conference that they're in. Then the American Conference. They play against UConn. Terrible season this year. ECU, USF, maybe a little tougher competition. But they still I would say if they do break out of that conference, maybe they can go independent or even the ACC where they can face a Clemson. They can maybe get into that playoff. So maybe they have to maneuver out of the American to get in. So we'll see what happens. But I do feel bad for them going forward.
So it sounds like you might be in favor of playoff expansion then.
Yeah.
You would like to see that. I mean, what do you think, what would be maybe a negative of that? You see some positives. What might be a negative?
Honestly, it'd be taking too long. I think that's a problem too. And also, you could see it easy, like maybe if there's like the number 1 seed could get knocked out in the first round. If that happens, how does that do for ratings? How does that do for the fans? Like the fans might not like that. So I think that's why you could easily see that not happening. That's the challenges with expanding the bracket. But so far, it's been going really well. It's annoying to see sometimes that you see the same 4 teams in, but now you see Notre Dame, a newcomer, coming in. So you might see more of that coming in the future.
All right, Aaron. Thank you for joining us. We're taking one more break, but coming up, Steve and I will go no huddle to prepare you for some of the great action coming up in the NFL this weekend. You won't want to miss it. The Blitz is brought to you by Allstate Insurance. For home, auto, and more, visit allstate.com today to get a free rate quote. Allstate, are you in good hands? Welcome back to the show as we will give you our lock, upset, and can't miss games of the weekend to get you ready for Sunday. Steve, let's go no huddle.
Well, let's go no huddle indeed. And these were some really, really tough picks. I went all across the NFL. But first, Jamie, we got to start with my lock. And that certainly comes out of the NFC South. New Orleans Saints, one of the top teams all season long. Drew Brees maybe having an MVP-like season. I think the Saints take it easily over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have just been in disarray all season long down in the NFC South. And staying in that division, move on to my upset. I don't think the Panthers are going to get it done against the Cleveland Browns. Listen, with all due respect to Carolina, Cleveland has nothing to lose this season. They've been playing so much better under with Baker Mayfield at the helm again, and Hugh Jackson out as the coach in Cleveland. I think the Browns take it over the Panthers. And my can't miss game of the weekend, not necessarily the teams with the 2 best records in the NFL or 2 of the best records, But in the NFC East, everything and every team has a chance. Everything is up for grabs. So I'm looking at the Eagles and the Cowboys, and despite the red-hot play of the Cowboys lately, I think the Philadelphia Eagles take it over the Cowboys. And, Jamie, that's my upset, my lock, upset, and can't miss game of the week.
Yeah, and what a world we live in where you can pick the Browns as the upset and people are like, yeah, okay.
Anything to make me seem smart.
Right, so let's get into my picks. And I went lock, Chargers over Bengals. Chargers red hot. They've won 8 of their last 9. Meanwhile, the Bengals, they've lost 4 in a row. They lost Andy Dalton as their quarterback, went down with an injury. They'll start Jeff Driscoll at quarterback. Upset, Dolphins over Patriots. New England, 1-3 in their last 4 games in Miami. Tom Brady, overall, a losing record in Miami. Can't miss Rams versus Bears, ultimate great defense versus great offense matchup. It's going to be below freezing in Chicago. You never know what could happen. Steve, that wraps up my picks.
Rams and Bears, pretty good matchup.
Yeah.
Jimmy, if you had to take a guess, I know we're getting close to the playoffs, not quite yet at the Super Bowl, but what 2 teams do you think are going to get there, and who do you think wins?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Saints from the NFC and then a team from LA, the Chargers, but I'm going to pick the Saints to win. I think Drew Brees, that offense is really explosive. I mean, the Chargers are loaded as well, but I just think the Saints get it done. The Super Bowl's in a dome, so that should play to their strength.
Wow, you were looking at everything with that matchup, and could be the last chance and the only chance for Phillip Rivers as his career winds down as well. For my Super Bowl pick, I'm going to go another team from LA, but from the other conference. Obviously, it's the LA Rams, who a lot of people, a lot of analysts, a lot of experts, so to speak, picked them as the favorite early on. I think they take on the Houston Texans, and I think the Rams come away with a victory in that one as well. Well, for Trevor Thompson, Chris Caiazzo, Aaron Gaberman, he's Jamie Magone, and I'm Stephen Wasserman. So long from the Blitz.